What's going on, guys? We are back. It is post Raleigh. It is post me clipping on T-Bates. We are going to talk about the actual professionals, and we're going to give a little bit of a global power rankings update on the top 10 from pre-Raleigh, now post-Raleigh, heading into, I guess, EWC. EWC is in about a month, I believe, so this would be like the power rankings for that event without, there's not going to be any roster moves from the teams that are going to the World Championship, so you would expect them all to be the same for the EWC. Technically, the EWC has not announced their teams yet, but I think all the word was before was the top 16, basically, that made Raleigh were probably going to be there. So I would assume it might be Mates, it might be GK. That's probably the only one that I'm unsure about of who would be there. Besides that, whatever. It really doesn't matter. Let's get right into it. So, Global Power Rankings pre-Raleigh. Here's what we had going into the event. I was down on Falcons. I was clearly wrong. I was up on Furia. And it's like, I just, the one time I was like, Furia, I'm usually a hater. I liked what I saw in Berm. I'm going to give you some love this entire split. And it backfired on me completely. I was very high on Dignitas, though. And I think rightfully so. Energy is going to drop a little bit as well. And so on and so forth. Let's just take a look at the major results here. It's going to look a little funky because I'm not going to readjust everything here. But as you can see, here's all your placements. So Falcons obviously first with the most dominant major in history. Dignitas came number 2. Vitality, Energy, Team Secret, Twisted Minds, Gentlemates. K-Corp is where K-Corp falls all the way to 8th. And that's the big question mark here. Ultimates, Gen G, Furia, Space Station, and so on and so forth. So, let's head on back. Obviously, these 10 teams are going to be in the run-in because they were there. The other team, too, that will definitely have to be included is Twisted Minds, right? Twisted Minds has to be in there because of their performance at this major. Besides that, honestly, Team Secret maybe sneaks in as well. So they'll be in the run-in. So it's like those two teams. Besides that, though, not really anyone else that we really have to worry about. So we have 12 teams. Let's go to our global power rankings for what we consider right now. And maybe we just write 12 for now. And maybe we even keep it at 12. Because why not? That's kind of fun. So we know that at least there will be 12 teams that are in the run-in for this top 10. And maybe we just make it a 12-team one. So Gen G, let's just put Twisted Minds here for the time being. And we're going to slowly move people around. I haven't really thought about this yet. So we're kind of work through it as we go. A couple notes. K-Corp, let's go over what they did. Obviously, that they were first before. I think they still deserve to be incredibly high just because of the threat of how good they can be. This obviously was not a good event for them. They came 7th and 8th. Swiss was rough. If we look here, again, you can't see everything perfectly, but that's okay. They did 3-0 Twisted Minds, lose 3-1 to Ultimates, beat Team Secret 3-2. So again, their Swiss also was incredibly difficult. Lose to Dig 3-2, beat Furia 3-0. Like, it's a pretty good Swiss. They did falter. I think the Dig loss is not maybe expected, but at least like you could see that happening, especially in a 5-game series. The Ultimate loss was probably the bigger shock, I would say, out of all of them. Obviously, only winning in 5 against Team Secret didn't look great, but Team Secret did look better. And then they go into the bracket stage, lose to Twisted Minds. You can barely see it here, 4-3 in the reverse sweep. It's tough. It's tough, right? I feel like I still would have K-Corp probably like number 2. I don't think this is going to change too much here for them. Energy will probably drop down. So I'm just going to rate Energy down here for the time being, just so we know that their name is here still. Karmine Corp, though, will go number 2 in my mind. I get it. They could fall further, but I think if you looked into EWC, they're going to be a true threat to win it all. They obviously had the most dominant major in history until what the Falcons just did right before this. So I think that still deserves a lot of credit. I'm going to put Falcons number 1, obviously, because of how dominant they just were. So actually, let me rewrite this a little bit. We'll just put Energy for the time being in number 5. and we'll keep it there. So I think top 2, I think we're pretty good. I think number 3 for Dignitas, we don't change. I think Dignitas kind of sits there. You could make an argument for number 2, like over K Corp. They did take down K Corp. I still think, though, on more days than not, I would choose K Corp over Dignitas. A lot of people will probably say I'm wrong, but that's fine. I'm going to keep Dignitas there. Furia is going to drop heavily. Maybe that was their peak. I think there was a question on if, like, is Birmingham their absolute peak or not? It's looking more like it could be their peak. Furia did have a tough road. They beat Wildcard 3-0. Lose to Vitality 3-1. Lose to Twisted Minds 3-2. Beat Virtus Pro 3-0. Lose to K-Corp. So they're 3 meaningful matches. They did lose all 3. But they were very tough matches, right? Vitality looked great all tournament long. Twisted Minds looked great. K-Corp looked great. These would all be top 6 teams if K-Corp and Twisted Minds did not play each other, very likely, in that first round. So Furia, they will falter more so because of what other teams have done. But for the time being, I will just swap them with Vitality. And we'll put Furia down here at number 9. They'll probably move up a little bit, I would expect, but we're just trying to figure out where these teams go. I think, honestly, this top 5 might be set based on this. I know Energy's floor technically is top 4, but now this is 2 tournaments in a row where their offense is abysmal. They were 14th best in this tournament. They were 15th best the tournament prior. They might have moved up out of 14th best in the very last series, but I don't think they did. They might have even dropped back down to 15th best, but I haven't looked it up necessarily. Let's take a look at Energy's run. They beat Gen G. Like, it's a good result, but it's nothing like incredible. They beat Mates, which is a good result, 3-1. They lose to Vitality. They beat Twisted Minds, so good result there. They lose to Vitality, though, is the main gripe I have. Because then obviously in playoffs, they get destroyed by Vitality yet again here, 4-0. They only scored 3 goals in that match. And then they lose to Team Falcons. It was competitive, but again, their offense is just not there. They only scored 5 goals. They just can't figure it out. So there's something definitely wrong there. Their floor, again, top 4. They did take down Twisted Minds in Game 7. Which is big, but again, their offense is still not really there. Only 2 3-goal games is not a lot for an Energy team. So their floor is top 4. They find a way to do it. The problem is they would be top 4 if K-Corp was still in this run-in, but because K-Corp, I think, is still a very, very good team, even though they didn't make top 4. Dignitas obviously had a great tournament. Vitality had a great tournament, especially head-to-head versus NRG. I think I have to put Energy 5. I don't think I can really move them up into the top 4, even if their floor is top 4. Twisted Minds, I think, is right after them. I think that makes sense. Played Energy very close. Beat K-Corp. Look like probably the next best team, right? Who else finished top 6? Let's look at the next one. The other one was Team Secret. Team Secret's a tough one, right? Let's take a look at what Team Secret has done in this tournament. Again, you won't see it all, but Team Secret lose to Falcons, beat Wildcard, lose to K-Corp, beat TSM, beat Ultimates. Honestly, a very tough road. The 2 teams that they didn't beat were also what many consider the 2 best teams in the world, or at least I do. And then they take down Ultimates, which is a very good result. Ultimates looked good early, but they did beat K-Corp. Like, I feel like these 2 are just trading wins. I think I would still have Ultimates above Team Secrets. I would still have Furia above Team Secrets. I would not have Space Station above Team Secrets. So at the very least, let's move up some of these teams. We will just get rid of these guys. Let's just put them down here with Gen G for the time being, because these 2 are probably going to be your bottom 2 at some point. I think, honestly, Ultimates, Grand Finals last time around, Furia, not so much. Let's see. So Ultimates beat Space Station and K-Corp. Lose to Falcons, Mates, and Team Secret. Furia, lose to K-Corp. Lose to Twisted Minds, lose to Vitality. So it's tough. I feel like I have to give Ultimates the nod. I think Ultimates' run was a little bit harder than Furia. Ultimates also placed higher at the last major. Sure, Ultimates didn't have a great NA split, but it did show at times that they were, a very good team here, but taking down K Corp, taking down Space Station as well. Space Station might be a little bit of a weaker win now, but a little bit of a tougher road than what Furia had to do. And even though Furia looked so good in Birmingham, like Ultimates looked even better, right? So it's tough. I think Ultimates and Furia are very close, but I think Ultimates are just barely above them. So I'll put Ultimates here at number 7 for the time being. And then we'll move Furia up there. We'll move Gentlemates up another one, just for the time being, in Team Secret. Let's see what, between Mates and Team Secret, what we can do here. I'll put Gen G here, and then we'll leave Space Station there. This might be our list, but let's take a look. Ultimates number 7. We also have the Mates that took out FUT, lose to Energy. They take down Space Station. They beat Ultimates. All right. That's a solid win. Mates then in playoffs they lose to Team Secret. So tough. It's so tough. Team Secret lose to Falcons and K Corp only. They take down Ultimates. They take down Mates. Do I put them that high though? I don't know if I believe in the Team Secret buff always. I don't think I can. This is really tough. These 4 are tough because Furia is a better team than Team Secret, right? Team Secret did show up in this event. I will give them that. But Furia's beat them like 15 out of 16 times, right? Ultimates and Gentlemates, I think on paper, are usually better. But Team Secret did get the wins. Now, is this just a disrespect on Team Secret to have them at 10? Or was the gap that big that it's hard for them to make up that gap in just one tournament? Mates beat Ultimates. Maybe Mates move up. But Ultimates look good in the last major. Mates weren't at the last major. Mates got upset by Team Secret. Mates didn't look that great in that series. Like, if I'm looking at EWCO, like, who could do well? I think I'm going to keep this. I know it looks weird. I think these 4 are incredibly hard to rank. I think these top 6, I think, are pretty accurate. And I wouldn't change much here. I think the only question mark is how far do you knock K Corp? But if I'm going into EWC, and I'm like, who do I think is going to place for further? Ultimates or Furia? Let's look at Furia's again, real quick. They beat Wildcard and Virtus. They lost a litter to everyone else. But they only played Europeans. Didn't play any NA. Lost to K Corp, Just Minds, and Vitality, who all look really good. Do I give respect back to Furia, even though they disappointed me last time? There is a world where I do that. Let's see how it looks. If I put Furia there, then this makes a little bit more sense, and then you could move Team Secret up a bit here into these guys, because they did beat them both. I just can't put them above Furia, just because of how good Furia has been against them. And I think that this was a little bit of an outlier event for them. Team Secrets beat no one in that, and then they just beat the Mates. Well, they beat Ultimates. I'm going to stand by this. I think a lot of people probably won't be too happy about this, but this is what I'm going to go with. All right. Furia, Ultimates, Mates, Team Secret, I'm going to go with 7 through 10. Then I think there's another tier below where you put Gen G and Space Station. Space Station's one of those teams, obviously, a lot of potential. We talk about this all the time. They have the potential. Can they show it? They did finally show it in NA. Then they get to the major, and I think it was just a little nervy. And they have to figure out how to play the game when it's on land compared to when there's not a lot of pressure online. Space Station, they can obviously peak and get better than this, but they looked very middling at this major. Gen G obviously beat them as well, head-to-head. I understand online is a different beast than LAN, or at least online, Space Station are a much better team than probably a Gen G, or a better team, I would say. Probably not much better. But this is LAN we're talking about at this point. We're in LAN season, and that's all that's left. In Space Station, it's only been one, and they'll take that experience, and we'll see where they go. Like, if I'm going to think of who could peak and make a top 8, probably Space Station over Gen G, but Space Station, it was just very nervy. They could also just bottom out again, right? So I'm going to put Space Station at 12, Gen G at 11. I don't really like this list with 7, 8, and 9, but I do think if my feet were to the fire, and if we went into EWC and I'm like, who's going to make top 8? Ultimates, Mates, or Team Secret? And I had to pick one, I would probably pick Ultimates. Maybe I would pick Mates. I don't think I would pick Team Secret. Maybe I'm disrespecting them a bit. They did have a great tournament, but I don't think I would pick them. Yeah, so I think this is the list. Probably a shorter time to actually make this list than I thought. But this is what I'm going with. My global power rankings heading into EWC at the very least of who I think will do well there based on recent performances, based off, kind of just history as well. Like Ultimates are generally a LAN team. They kind of just had one bad day. I think I like this. I think I like it. Let me know why it's wrong in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. So my next video will be LCQ related, so we'll talk all about that. So, bye-bye.